Throughout the annals of history, the clash of swords, the roar of cannons, and the brilliance of tactical minds have shaped the fate of nations. Today, we honor the titans of strategy, the masterminds of war, and the greatest generals to ever command an army. Get ready for an epic journey through time as we count down the top 10 greatest generals in history, ranked by their legendary victories. Number 10, Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was an ancient Macedonian ruler and one of history's greatest military minds who, as king of Macedonia and Persia, established the largest empire the ancient world had ever seen. By turns charismatic and ruthless, brilliant and power-hungry, diplomatic and bloodthirsty, Alexander inspired such loyalty in his men they'd follow him anywhere, and, if necessary, die in the process. Though Alexander the Great died before realizing his dream of uniting a new realm, his influence on Greek and Asian culture was so profound that it inspired a new historical epoch, the Hellenistic period. Number 9, Georgy Zhukov. Georgy Konstantinovich Zhukov is a Soviet commander from World War II. His victory at the Battle of Kursk is the turning point in the war against the Germans. Zhukov was the most acclaimed Soviet military commander of World War II. His victories over the German army in the East, often at great cost in Soviet lives, did much to hasten the war's end. Zhukov and Vasilevsky coordinated the Soviet armies at the Battle of Kursk, the largest tank battle in history, in July 1943. For the Soviets, the defeat of the Germans at Kursk was the war's turning point. Zhukov led the final Soviet assault on Germany in 1945, capturing Berlin in April and becoming a world-famous figure. Number 8, Frederick the Great. Frederick ruled Prussia from 1740, leading his nation through multiple wars with Austria and its allies. His daring military tactics expanded and consolidated Prussian lands, while his domestic policies transformed his kingdom into a modern state and formidable European power. As an enthusiastic patron of the arts and sciences, a gifted musician, and a correspondent with the top minds of the Enlightenment, Frederick sought to embody the Platonic ideal of a philosopher king. Number 7, Ulysses S. Grant. Ulysses Grant commanded the victorious Union Army during the American Civil War and served as the 18th U.S. president from 1869 to 1877. An Ohio native, Grant graduated from West Point and fought in the Mexican-American War. During the Civil War, Grant, an aggressive and determined leader, was given command of all the U.S. armies. After the war, he became a national hero, and the Republicans nominated him for president in 1868. Number 6, Hannibal Barca. Hannibal was a Carthaginian general during the Second Punic War between Carthage and Rome. He is considered one of the greatest generals of antiquity, and his tactics are still studied and used today. He then marched his massive army across the Pyrenees and Alps into central Italy in what would be remembered as one of the most famous campaigns in history. Number 5, Khalid ibn Walid. Al-Walid was one of the Islamic Empire's most capable military commanders. His leadership united Arabia under a single leader for the first time. He's known for commanding the forces of the Rashidun army under Muhammad and his successors of the Rashidun Caliphate. It's rumored that he fought in over 100 conflicts and skirmishes, but he's best remembered for 14 significant battles in which he remained undefeated against the Byzantine Empire and the Sassanid Persians, and helped spread Islam to the greater Middle East. Number 4, Takeda Shingen. One of the best military minds in feudal Japan is really a big deal because almost everyone seemed to be a military mind, and being better than someone else might mean you get challenged to a duel. After 18 battles, the Tiger of Kai reigned supreme, in Japan anyway. During the 14th century, Takeda Shingen was a prominent daimyo, or feudal lord, renowned for his military prowess and aggressive tactics in battle. Number 3, Arthur Wellesley, 1st Duke of Wellington. Wellesley is best known for his military accolades. It's a pretty big deal to be the guy who delivered a solid defeat to the man they called Master of Europe. Napoleon's old nemesis, the Duke of Wellington, commanded famous victories during the Napoleonic Wars, including the defeat of Bonaparte at Waterloo. Like Takeda Shingen, his nearest challenger on this list, the Duke saw command of 18 battles, but his war score is considerably higher. Number 2, Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was a renowned general, politician, and scholar in ancient Rome who conquered the vast region of Gaul and helped initiate the end of the Roman Republic when he became dictator of the Roman Empire. Despite his brilliant military prowess, his political skills, and his popularity with Rome's lower and middle class, his rule was cut short when opponents, threatened by his rising power, brutally assassinated him. Number 1. Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte, Emperor of the French, was one of the most successful military commanders of the modern era. From relatively humble beginnings, he rose to prominence during the tumultuous wars of the French Revolution, ultimately fighting in over 60 battles, of which he lost only 7. His conquests expanded his empire to the borders of Europe. He won his greatest military victory at the Battle of Austerlitz against Austria and Russia in 1805. He defeated Prussia at the battles of Jena and Auerstedt, and Russia at the Battle of Friedland. He then imposed the Treaty of Tilsit on Russia, ending the Fourth Coalition of countries against France.